Your freedom might be a lie. Nature never left you. Are we really free, or just biology pretending to be culture? What if the instincts we think we've escaped never actually left us? What if every algorithm we scroll, every choice we defend, every identity we craft isn't freedom, but a dressed up echo of biology? We like to believe we are rational, moral, self-authored, but biologist Edward Wilson argued otherwise. In his book on human nature, he claimed the things we pride ourselves on, our empathy, our violence, our love, our loyalty, aren't divine gifts or personal victories. They're evolutionary scripts, codes written long before us, still humming in the background. We imagine culture as escape, civilization as progress, but what if culture isn't an escape at all? What if it's just biology with better branding? For centuries, we've told ourselves we've overcome nature. We wear clothes, build cities, meditate, invent art. We think that means we've risen above animal instinct. But has anything really changed? The boardroom is just a savanna in glass. The influencer economy is just peacocking with filters. Dating apps are nothing more than arranged mating rituals, except now curated with swipe logic and compatibility scores. We've traded caves for condos, firelight for blue light, but underneath the aesthetic upgrade, we're still running Wilson's code. We still crave dominance, we still seek mates, we still protect the tribe, we still fear exile. Culture didn't erase the animal, it just gave it better costumes. And here's where it fractures, because if biology is a script, then culture today is a stagehand manipulating the lighting. Algorithms study our hunger for validation, the same way predators studied herds. They know we can't resist the little red dot of attention. They sell belonging one notification at a time. Consumerism hijacks our survival instincts. Scarcity's marketing plays on our fear of missing out, as if not buying a limited sneaker drop is the same as starving. Dating apps monetize desire. Social feeds monetize envy. Political campaigns monetize fear. This isn't random, it's a strategy. Every primal instinct Wilson mapped has become a revenue stream. Human nature isn't being overcome, it's being harvested. We tell ourselves we choose, but do we? Why do we crave likes? Why do we chase status? Why do we collapse without community? Because choice is a performance layered over biology. Even our freedom is conditioned. The desire to stand out is still tribal instinct. The desire to belong is still a survival mechanism. What we call individuality is often just variation with the same evolutionary template. Like branches of a tree, diverse in shape but rooted in the same DNA. So, what if the modern lie isn't oppression? What if the modern lie is freedom? What if our choices are only ever nature, dressed up as personal destiny? Never before has this been clearer than now. Wilson wrote, in an age of science, we live in an age of code. Algorithms aren't just reflecting our biology. They're accelerating it, optimizing it, weaponizing it. A social platform knows how long you stare at an image. A dating app knows which profile will spike your dopamine. A newsfeed knows what outrage will keep you scrolling. And here's the twist. These systems don't have to create new instincts. They just have to hijack old ones. Fear, desire, status, curiosity. That's all it takes. What Wilson saw as a fate, Silicon Valley sees as opportunity. The question is no longer what is human nature. The question is who controls it. We still insist, but I'm different. I'm evolved, aware, unique. Really? Or is it just the ego's camouflage? Even self-awareness can be biology. Even rebellion can be instinct. Even meditation apps are built on the desire to optimize survival. We are convinced our culture is progress. But maybe culture is just nature's way of keeping us entertained, while the code runs underneath. Like a magician's trick. Look at the art, the architecture, the philosophy. Ignore the fact that what you're really watching is an ape brain in designer clothes. So what does prophetism ask us here? It asked if Wilson was right, if nature scripted us, then what does prophecy mean in an age of engineered instinct? Because prophecy depends on seeing the fracture, and the fracture here is this. Biology gave us instincts, technology is rewriting them, and culture pretends it's still our choice. That's a paradox, that's the tension, that's the intel. Once survival meant food, shelter, tribe, now survival means resisting your own programming. The rarest luxury isn't wealth. It isn't attention, it isn't intimacy. It's autonomy. The ability to recognize when you're being pulled by strings and cut them. The ability to say this is instinct, not destiny. The ability to choose silence over scroll, clarity over validation, presence over performance. If solitude was the last prophecy's scarcity, then nature is this one's battlefield. But let's not romanticize, because nature is not just warm instincts and maternal care. Nature is violence. Nature is competition. Nature is selfishness disguised as survival. And in our era, these traits are resurfacing everywhere. Corporate greed as evolutionary dominance, online cruelty as tribal warfare, us versus them seeking as protective instinct. We want to believe we moved past this, but Wilson would say, no matter how futuristic we look, we're still carrying ancient code. The risk isn't that we lose touch with our humanity, the risk is that we never escape it. So here's a question. In a world of AI companions, genetic editing, dopamine-optimized platforms, what happens to human nature? Will we rewrite it entirely, engineer empathy, delete aggression, extend desire? Or will we become prisoners of it? So addicted to our own instincts, amplified by technology, that we forgot we ever had freedom. Perhaps survival in the next century won't be adaptation to environment, it will be adaptation to ourselves. The enemy isn't outside anymore, the predator is within. Drop a thought in the comments, even a single word. Yes, no, free, trapped. Every comment adds to the fracture we're exploring. So let me ask you this, are you really free? Or are you just following a script written by genes, performed by culture and monetized by machines? Because the danger isn't that we lose our humanity, the danger is that we never stop being human, even when humanity becomes the cage. If this resonated, subscribe or let it echo a little longer, and if you're curious about the visuals, they are part of the world I'm building beyond the screen, you can see more of my work at TOMAAS.com. This is part of the TOMAAS Prophecies, cinematic essays that don't just reflect the world, but read between its fractures. Through layered visuals and emotional pattern recognition, we practice prophetism, a new way of seeing. Here, art isn't decoration, it's intel. It translates what we haven't yet learned to name, because by the time everyone understands the shift, it already happened.